யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேடீர்.
செம்மொழி வலையொலி யூடியூப் சேனல். இந்த சேனலின் மூலமாக, அந்த வலையொலியின் மூலமாக பல்வேறு தகவல்களை தினந்தோறும் நாங்கள் வழங்கி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த நிலையில் சிலப்பதிகாரம் என்ற தலைப்பில் ஒவ்வொரு பகுதியாக வழங்கக்கூடிய அந்த தொகுப்பை முழுமையாக கண்டு பார்க்கலாம்.
This is குறிஞ்சி பாட்டு. மதுரை காஞ்சி compares an elephant that runs amok to a storm at sea, wrecking a ship. Furious winds do lash, break the strong cordage with which the sails are bound fast, break down the mast, make the anchor roll about, drive the vessel into a strong whirlpool and make it spin. There is a matchless description of the cold season in Nedunalvadai. This is the description. The heavy clouds, having exhausted their first fury, are now practicing, as the poet puts it, the gentler art of drizzling. But the weather continues cold, and the howling north winds are all the more fierce. The monkey on the tree shivers and contracts its limbs, and having given up its arboreal marches and depredations, now looks small indeed. The birds, overborne by the winds, drop down in their flights, but they still make way as best they can to the shoals and shallow parts of the rivers, to which the fishes, unable to withstand the unusually strong currents, repair in crowds. And once there, the winged visitors make but short work of their aquatic friends. The milch cows, shivering with cold, forget their motherly affections, and instead of welcoming their calves, drive them off with a kick. The shepherds fare even worse. This is not the time for them to gather their favorite flowers or to indulge in other pastoral amusements. They are now far from their homes, and the nights are specially trying to them. Exposed to the moaning, piercing winds, they collect in small companies of twos and threes and light up their fires, which make but darkness visible, exactly as their small companies make their solitude all the more impressive and pronounced. These shepherds warm the palms of their hands at these fires, and applying them to their cheeks, seek to prevent their teeth from chattering and drumming, as the saying in Tamil runs, against each other, drumming against each other. The stark realism which these poets can achieve in their delineation of the appearance of women is incredible. The grand celebration of female beauty in some of these poems will be admired and approved by the modern Western feminists who are opposed to the Western male writers' presentation of women in their novels and dramas. In Sirubanatrupadai, one striking simile for every part of the dancing woman's body is used in a remarkable head to foot description, a tour de force. It is characterized by the use of Malai Uvamai, a garland of similes, and Vattrai Mani Malai, one word repeated with a different meaning. This is the passage in Sirubanatrupadai, the famous head to foot description. ஐதுவீழ் இகுபெயல் அழகு கொண்டு அருளி நெய்கணிந்து இருளிய கதுப்பின் கதுப்பென மணிவயிர் கலாபம் பரப்பி பலவுடன் மயில் மயிர்குளிக்கும் சாயல் சாய் உயங்கு நாய் நாவின் நல்லெழில் அசை வயங்கிழை உலறிய அடியின் அடிதொடர்ந்து ஈர்ந்து நிலந்தோயும் இரும்பிடி தடக்கையில் சேர்ந்துடன் செறிந்த குரங்கில் குரங்கென மால்வரை ஒழுகிய வாழை வாழைப்பூவென பொலிந்த ஓதி ஓதி நளிச்சினை வேங்கை நான்மலர் நச்சி களிச்சுரும்பு அரற்றும் சுணங்கின் சுணங்கு பிதிர்ந்து யானர்கோங்கின் அவிர்முகை எள்ளி பூனகத்து ஒடுங்கிய வெம்முலை முலையென வன்கோட் பெண்ணை வளர்ந்த நுங்கின் இன்சேறு இகுதரும் எயிற்றின் எயிறு என குல்லை அம்புறவில் குவிமுகை அவிழ்ந்த முல்லை சான்ற கற்பின் மெல்லியல் மடமான் நோக்கின் வாழ்நுதல் விரலியர். That is, the oiled black hair of the dancing women is as beautiful as the falling rain. Peacocks with sapphire-hued plumes, ashamed to be in the presence of those ladies, hide themselves behind a flock of peahens. Their bare feet, devoid of ornaments, resemble the tongues of fatigued dogs. Their thighs, close to each other, look like the ground-touching trunks of dark female elephants. Their lovely hairstyles are like the flowers of the banana trees growing in rows on the cloud-covered hills. The fresh vengai flowers they wear are from dense tree branches. Honeybees, fond of honey, buzz around their bodies, mistaking their sallow spots for flowers. The jewels on their pleasing breasts are brighter than the congum buds. Their bosoms look like the big clusters of palmyra fruit. The sweet saliva of their teeth tastes like the juice of tender nungu. Their teeth appear like the white kullai flowers growing in the woodland together with jasmine, which exemplifies their chastity. They have deer-like glances and gleaming foreheads. சிறுபானாற்றுப்படை, பெரும்பானாற்றுப்படை and திருமுருகாற்றுப்படை confer this honor of head to foot description on the dancing woman Virali, the singing woman Padini, and the divine damsels Surara Mahalir respectively. These descriptions must have inspired Kalidasa to describe Parvati's appearance beginning with the foot and ending with the head in 19 verses in his Kumara Sambhavam. This kind of praise of feminine beauty, limb by limb, adding up to a perfect whole, became a regular literary convention and motif in later Sanskrit literature and was given the name Naga Sikanta Varnana. The double simile used by Sirubhanaatrupadai to describe the dancing woman's thighs has impressed Kalidasa so much that he uses it as a pair of negative similes when he says that Parvati's thighs are not so cold as plantains or so rough as elephants' trunks. There are other striking similarities too. The professional singer of Purunaraatrupadai is endowed with a pair of young rising breasts which cannot be divided even by the thinnest twig. Kalidasa in Kumara Sambhavam makes use of this description. Parvati's breasts pressing against each other are so close that there is no space for a lotus thread between them. The catalogue and the procession of the gods that meet the heavenly creator as described by Kalidasa in the second canto of his epic would remind any close student of Sangam poetry of a similar expedition undertaken by the gods, Devas, in Tirumurugatrupadai. The procession in Kumarasambhavam is led by Indra and joined by Varuna, Kubera, Yama, 12 Adityas, 7 wind gods and 11 Rudras. In Tirumurugatrupadai, the procession to the Murugan temple at Avinankudi consists of Thirumal, Uruthiran, Indiran and the 18 groups of Devas, including the 12 Adityas, the 12 Rudras, the Vasus and the Maruts, all of whom shine as stars, rush as the wind, possess the strength of fire and the voice of thunder. The saints wearing bark garments have silvery white hair. Their half-starved bodies are pure and clean. Their bony chests are covered with a deer skin. In their learning and possession of a keen intellect, they are exemplary. Free from anger, misery and bitterness, they are gentle and extremely refined. There are echoes of this description in the 6th canto of Kumarasambhavam, where the meeting of the famed 7 saints and Shiva takes place before they are sent as messengers to Himavan by Shiva, seeking the hand of Uma in marriage. With their matted hair shining like gold, they look as bright as the numerous reflections of the sun in the waters of a river. From the 10 idyls, we may realize that the Tamil society of the Sangam period was a highly evolved one, a highly cultured one. Comparing it with the kind of society pictured in Sanskrit writings, George Hart makes a number of illuminating observations in one of his essays written in Tamil. This is what he says, comparing Tamil classics with Sanskrit ones. Sangahala Chamuham, he says, Samattuva Chamuham, that is egalitarian society. வடமொழி வளர வளர சமூக குல பதவி பெருமைகளை பிரிவுகளை அதிகம் அறிவுறுத்திற்று. பெருங்கவிஞர் காளிதாசருடைய இலக்கியத்தில் கீழ்குலத்தார் பிராகிருதத்தில் உரையாடுகிறார்கள், சமஸ்கிருதத்தில் அன்று. இவ்வாறு நான் கூறுவதற்கு காரணம், அவர் சொல்கிறார், திஸ் இஸ் a statement by ஜார்ஜ் ஹார்ட். இவ்வாறு நான் கூறுவதற்கு காரணம், வட இந்திய இலக்கியம் குல வேறுபாடுகளை பற்றிய கருத்துக்களை கூறி வந்திருக்கிறது என்பதை விளக்கத்தான். புத்த மத வடமொழி இலக்கியங்களே முதலில் குல வேறுபாடுகளை பற்றிய கேள்விகளை எழுப்புகின்றன. ஆனால் வடமொழி குல வேறுபாடுகளை அதிகப்படுத்தி காட்டுகிறது என்று கூறினால் அது மிகை அன்று. 2000 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன் வாழ்ந்த தமிழர்கள் சமத்துவ சமூகத்தில் வாழ்ந்தவர்கள் அல்லர் என்றாலும் எந்த குலத்தைச் சேர்ந்தவர்களாயினும் அவர்களது மொழி தமிழ்தான். வடமொழி போல் கற்றறிந்த அறிஞர்கள் மட்டும் தமிழை பயன்படுத்தவில்லை. சங்ககால கவிஞர்கள் உயர்ந்தகோல மக்களின் வாழ்க்கையை பற்றி மட்டும் எழுதவில்லை. ஏனெனில் இப்பாடல்கள் பொதுமக்களின் வாழ்க்கையை விவரிப்பதாக அமைந்துள்ளன. அவர்களது உலகம் பொதுமக்களின் உலகம்தான். அவர்கள் கூறும் பண்பாட்டில் பல குலங்களும் பலருக்கு உயர்ந்த பதவிகளும் பலருக்கு தாழ்ந்த பதவிகளும் அவரவர்க்கு ஏற்ற தொழில்களும் மரபும் இருந்தன என்பதை இப்பாடல்களால் அறிகிறோம். சங்கப்பாடல்கள் ஒரு குலத்தின் வாழ்வை பற்றியோ அல்லது பண்பாட்டை பற்றியோ மட்டும் விளக்கவில்லை. இதுதான் சங்கத்தமிழ் பாடல்களின் தனித்தன்மை. அவர் சொல்லுகிறார், எல்லா குலங்களின் வாழ்வும் அவர்களது இலக்கியத்தில் முக்கிய இடம் பெற்றுள்ளன. சங்ககால இலக்கியம் வேற்றுமையின்றி அரசனாக இருந்தாலும் கற்றறியாத பாணனாக இருந்தாலும் அவர்களது வாழ்வையும் பண்பாட்டையும் பற்றி உயர்வாக கூறியுள்ளது. எக்குலத்தாராயினும் அவர் மேன்மையுடையார் என்பதை இப்பாடல்கள் உணர்த்துகின்றன. யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளிர் என்பதுதான் இப்பாடல்களின் குறிக்கோள். அவர் மேலும் ஃபர்தர் சேஸ், பேராசிரியர் ராமானுஜன் அவர்களும் சங்ககாலம் பற்றி இவ்வாறு தான் விவரித்துள்ளார். வடமொழி காவிய இலக்கியங்களில் நகர பண்பாட்டிற்கும் கிராமிய பண்பாட்டிற்கும் மிகவும் வேறுபாடு உள்ளது. மகாபாரதம் போன்ற காவியங்களிலும் பல நாடகங்களிலும் கற்றவர்கள் கிராம மக்களின் வாழ்வை பற்றி நகையாடுவதை காணலாம். பழந்தமிழில் இவ்வாறு வேறுபாட்டை காண இயலாது. எல்லாவித வாழ்க்கைக்கும் மேன்மையும் பெருமையும் இருக்கின்றன என்று சங்கப்பாடல்கள் கூறுகின்றன. மருத நிலத்தில் பெரும் மனைகளில் வாழும் மக்கள் அரிசிச்சோறு உண்பார்கள். மலைகளில் வாழும் வேடர்குல மக்கள் திணை உணவு உண்பார்கள். ஆனால் அவர்களை பற்றி பாடும் புலவர் அவர்களது வாழ்வில் வேறுபாட்டை காண்பது இல்லை. இருவர் வாழ்க்கையையும் ஒரே நிலையில் வைத்துத்தான் புலவர்கள் புகழ்கிறார்கள். அறிஞர் சிலர் சங்ககால இலக்கியத்தில் சமத்துவம் காண்பதன் காரணம் புத்த சைன மதங்களின் தொடர்பாக இருக்கலாம் என்று கருதுகிறார்கள். He is mentioning the statement made by our own people, our own scholars. He says they are wrong when they say that this has been borrowed from Buddhist and Jain religions. நான் இச்சமத்துவம் இப்பாடல்களில் காண்பதன் காரணம் இவை தமிழ்ப்பாணர்கள் விரலியர் போன்றோரின் நாடோடி பாடல்களிலிருந்து தோன்றியதாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்று கருதுகிறேன். That is, this belief in the oneness of mankind was not borrowed from Sanskrit literature or from Aryan culture. This is entirely due to the attitude of our own Pawners and Viraliers of the Sangam period. That is what George Hart emphasizes in such statements. The most salient features of Tamil culture are indelibly recorded in Pathupattu. The people who lived in Kaviripumbattinam mixed freely with foreigners, never treating them as strangers, barbarians or as milechas. Foreigners were considered barbarians by the Greek scholars and they were considered milechas by the Aryans. Foreigners were considered as strangers by the Japanese. In this splendid city, that is, in this splendid city of undiminished fame, festivals are celebrated by the wise and their kith and kin who have been to other lands and by people who have migrated from blameless countries speaking several languages. These foreigners are referred to as men speaking several languages from blameless countries. Those countries are not attacked. Perumbanatrupadai describes the life lived by the Tamils in the 5 different regions: Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neithal and Palai. The huts of the hunters, Yeiner, in the vast wilderness are roofed with the leaves of the date palm growing on the uplands. As the leaflets have sharp spear-like tips, the roofs look like the backs of porcupines and hence keep out rats and squirrels. Excepting the women who are confined to their bed with their newborn babies, all the others go out with spades, dig the ant holes and take out the food grains stored in them. They pour the grains into mortar and strike them with strong and sharp pestles. The brackish water oozing out in the deep well is collected by them, and the unsifted rice is cooked in old pots and on ruined ovens. In the settlement of shepherds, there are small huts supported by short poles on which hang leafy twigs for goats to eat. Every hut has a bushy entrance, a door wrought of poles, a cot made of poles on which millet straws are spread. The dark shepherdess, with a set of small studs on her ears, has smooth bamboo-like shoulders and dense and curly tresses hair. Early in the morning, she wakes up with the birds and turns hard the churning rod with a rope, making a noise like the growling of tigers, and goes to the neighboring area to sell her products. She feeds her kin with food bought by the sale of buttermilk. With the earnings from the sale of ghee, she doesn't buy solid gold, but milks cows, buffaloes of good breed, and dark-hued buffalo cows. The prosperous settlement by ploughmen is girt with cool and water-rich farms. In the vast fields, dark-hued oxen plunge their horns into the soil, take out the green korai grass, and get their horns soiled. The bulls fight with one another and cause the crab holes to disappear. The crabs have forked legs like the broken tongues of the ironsmith, who blows the bellow by pressing it with his foot. Since there is no need for tilling, the peasants merely trample the field with their feet. Later, they weed out the nasal plants which grow amidst the crops and have fleshy stalks and fresh blooms that drip with honey. The pretty children of the ploughmen have tender skins resembling smooth steel plates. They strike against their black chests with the brownish fruit of the kadambu plant, and the streaks of pollen from such fruit sticking to their chest look like the streaks of gold seen on the touchstone of goldsmiths. The reapers cut thick and hollow stalks of ripened rice, whose large grains look like swarms of stinging wasps. They pile the sheaves in large full heaps in ample threshing grounds, where gifts are offered to gods beneath the shades of snake-infested marudam branches. They pull the large stacks down around which lies the spider's web, resembling the white attire of demons going through the Thunangai dance, their hands linked together. The small huts in which fishermen live are low roofed and built with the white boughs of trees, across which reeds are spread in regular rows. They are tied with the fibre taken from screw pine bushes and are thatched with tarupai grass. If you stay in their house, the poet says, if you stay in their house, you will be served with specially prepared liquor together with fresh boiled fish. A thick gruel of unpounded rice is made and poured into wide-mouthed vessels. It is mixed with the powdered rice sprouts, whose outer part resembles the shell of termites inside the snake holes. To increase its taste, it is allowed to remain for 2 days and nights in strong-mouthed jars. When it is served, it is stirred with the fingers. A bard who advises another to approach Ilandirayan thus describes the things the latter would see in the 5 kinds of tracks he would cross before he reaches the king's capital, the Palai area inhabited by hunters, the Kurinji area where robbers live, the Mullai region where shepherds lead a joyous life, and the Marudham land where farmers cultivate their fields, the Neithal land where fishermen reside. The whole passage becomes a graphic recounting of the life led by people living in 5 fascinating regions. All the 10 long poems of this Sangam anthology called Pattupattu, which has fortunately survived the ravages of time, besides possessing an enduring aesthetic appeal, happen to be a mine of information helping us reconstruct the social and cultural life of the Tamils 20 centuries ago, for which we do not have many other reliable sources. Thank you.